And hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Boon of Wireless podcast, now part of Wirelo. Yes, Wirelo, revolutionizing the way businesses in the wireless industry connect, collaborate, and thrive. As a premier B2B marketplace, Wirelo's platform is designed to cater specifically to the needs of the wireless store vendors in America. Wirelo.com. Yes, check them out at wirelo.com. I'm your host, John Horowitz, coming to you as always high above the streets of northern New Jersey at ANJ Media. And of course, it wouldn't be a podcast for me without Andrew behind the glass. Hello, Andrew. How are you today?
I'm doing well, John.
That's good to hear. Are you excited?
Ecstatic.
It's July 2nd today. In 2 days, we celebrate our nation's 250th birthday. Do you have plans?
I plan to grill it up.
Grill it up. All right. Watch some fireworks, all that good stuff.
Blow up a piece of America.
Blow up a piece of America. You got to be careful, though. We, like a lot of the country, have a pretty decent heat wave. It is July. But we're topping 100 degrees, and it's a little dangerous out there. So take your time, hydrate, and wishing everybody from the Boon of Wireless a very happy and safe 4th of July. Okay, our guests today are a couple out of Tulsa, Oklahoma that are changing the face of MVNOs who give back to their communities. Love Mobile Incorporated is a prepaid wireless MVNO that combines nationwide 5G data with a give-back model that powers local communities. The company was founded by Koddi Dunn and Wade Dunn Jr., life and business partners who built Love Mobile on a single conviction that commerce and community should never be separate pursuits. That belief is protected in the company's registered trademark, the cell phone company that gives back. Koddi's visionary leadership and Wade's operational and coaching experience have led to Koddi being a highly sought-after business leader, a Woman in Business featured speaker, a 2025 Tulsa Woman of Impact, and a top female founder honoree for the second year in a row. Wade is a featured speaker and business strategist, a 2025 Marquee Who's Who honoree, and an active business coach and conference speaker. Today, Love Mobile is gaining national and international media attention and traction with momentum that proves a wireless company can grow while putting community first. What drives Wade and Koddi is not a pivot towards purpose. It's the reason they started. They often say, we didn't start a company and then decide to give back. We decided to give back, so we started a company. Married 18 years and with 7 children, let's get to know Koddi and Wade and learn how Love Mobile is the new powerhouse in the wireless landscape. Please join me in welcoming to the podcast Koddi and Wade Dunn. Hey, how are you guys?
Hey, John.
Absolutely amazing. Hello.
It's so good to see you again. I know we spent a lot of time in Miami at MVNO Nation, and I had to twist both of your arms to get onto the podcast. So you may be the 2 busiest people I've ever met, but you're doing a great thing. And we want to get to know you two and talk about how this started at your kitchen table and how far you've come. That like we were talking earlier before we started, that I can't go on LinkedIn without seeing you two. And I thought you're probably going to run for office. I don't know what you're doing, but let's tell our viewers all about Love Mobile.
Wow. Thank you for that introduction. So I am Koddi Dunn, and Wade is my husband. And I don't know, we're just passionate people who care about our society and legacy, and the world we're leaving for our children and our grandchildren. And so that passion fuels us. And we're not just idea people, we are action people. And so we turn that concern into a solution where subscribers can use their cell phone bills as a vehicle, a tool, if you will, for impact.
Wade, you want to add anything to that, or?
The company was started with the idea of, how do we support nonprofits? 81% of nonprofits in America, they don't hit budget every year. People don't know that. So we literally sat down and just try to figure out how can we build something. We had a company before, and we was like, how can we build another company, but this company is focused on giving back? That's the whole purpose of the company.
So your company is built around giving back to the community, started by two people who, by your own admission, had no experience in telecom, right? How did this happen? What was your aha moment to say, let's do this through telecom?
Our background is technology. So we are streaming pioneers, okay? So we were, I mean, what, 15, 20 years ago, showing organizations how to use technology. And so we're not like novices when it comes to doing something new. We've done that before. But it was really just a kitchen table conversation. Our kids were leaving our home and going off to college, and I like to say we had created this bubble of a existence of family life. But they were growing up and coming out of the bubble, and I was just terrified of the world that they were going in. And so it was literally like, "Hey, babe, what can we do to give back?" Like, what? But not just give back, because we did that with our original company, right? We worked with nonprofits, many that you may know we worked with, and help put them online and usher them into technology. So it wasn't that we weren't doing anything, but we needed giving back to be more automatic. And the one thing about having a big family, what it teaches you is that many hands make light work, right? And I like to say many hands make life work. And so just bringing that level of thinking into a solution, and it was like, well, you're what bill could you pay that actually does more than just pay that bill? What bill, when times are hard and budgets are being cut, like what bill will a family say, yeah, but I got to pay that one? Right? You may let your streaming, entertainment go. You may let some, eating out go, but what bill has to be paid? And we said, well, you know what? Utilities. You're not going to let your utilities go. And it was like, okay, so then how can we make utilities a part of a solution? Okay, so and we really just sat down and went through the list, and it was like, okay, water bill. I don't have access to that.
Right.
Power bill. Yeah, I'm not on anybody's, electrical grid. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's got a cell phone. And it was kind of like did we just land on something? And we immediately kind of went off, and, an idea can kind of sit with you, but is this something? And we began to research, and then it was like, there are conferences coming up. Do we just want to go and walk around? And, everybody else is taking regular vacations. We're going to telecom conferences to find out more about the industry and how does this all work and who are the major players? And, is this a wild idea? And if it is, okay, I just, wasted a vacation. But if it works, we may be onto something that's industry changing. And so I'm someone that says to people, listen, don't dismiss an idea just because you feel like it's too big. But because what if it works? What if you're onto something and it's not, well, y'all can't do that. But what if we do that?
Well, it's good that you picked an industry like wireless. It's not competitive. Right.
It's
Yeah,
not
right. Everybody's got a cell phone and a cell phone company.
All right, and yes, yeah, it seems like everybody has a cell phone company. You're right. No, I was being facetious there because it is a very competitive industry, and you have very competitive rates.
Yes.
On top of the cut it into your profit margins, which are thin to start with.
Yeah.
You were recently on my buddy Ian Ginn's podcast over in England. I think he's in England. And you spent a lot of time, you said, on research, and then more research. How did this start? How did this process say, okay, where do we go first? What website do we go to say, is this a good idea?
Like, you start with Google. You really just, how do I start a cell phone company? And the first iterations of love did not work, right? We had someone when we paid, hey, here's an idea. And they were like, okay, we can do it. You can? Absolutely. Well, how much? Okay, that's it. Here's the money. And then crickets. We never heard from that guy again, right? So love is getting a lot of attention right now, and people like to think, oh, they just popped up. But no, this was 5 years to becoming, as they say, an overnight success. We spent a full year on the trademark and the intellectual property. So we are the cell phone company that gives back. We spent another year just in beta where you're
Yeah.
not making, a ton, but you're doing what
Right.
needs to be done to understand the model, to understand your unique positioning, to identify which customers and consumers are going to be right for you, and who thinks it's just a good idea, and who's really bought in. So it starts with the Google, but it goes through peaks and valleys. It's a part of that process.
It's like the rabbit hole, like they say. You follow the rabbit hole. You just go to the next question, leads to an answer, which leads to another question, and that's how you just keep kind of digging into it.
Yeah. What was the biggest obstacle you faced in launching an MVNO really from scratch? And how did you overcome that?
I think the biggest obstacle is anything, and we learned this in our first company. When you do something that's not normal in the space, a lot of times you're pioneering a lot of the technologies and the different things that you need to do to actually execute it, right? And that's one thing we learned is that traditional telecom was the idea, but the way we wanted to use traditional telecom, technology just really didn't support that model, right? So that's one of the biggest things, the biggest obstacles for us. There's other like regulatory stuff that you have to do, a lot of different things. And let me say this, and we might have to edit this out, and we may not. You may you know what, John, keep this. I want to say this. There's a stat that says between 80 to 90% of MVNOs fail, right? That's a stat that says that, and some statistics say that 80% to 90% fail to scale and grow, right? So there's two different ways they look at it. One thing I've learned in this industry, and this is just the way we looked at it, is how our other business was, and we find that there's not a lot of players in the space, right, for different things, and we also find that in that space that a lot of the MVNOs may fail because there is like a monopoly in this space, and because there's a monopoly, there's this thing where like the cost can be astronomically high for things that are in this space that really takes away the runway for MVNOs to kind of have support and grow. Because, like you said, the margins, you got to play a numbers game. If you don't have good margins, then you have to have volume, right? And if you have the volume, then you'll have the margins to support the expense. But if when you first get started, everything is, expense, really, really expensive, and then you have thin margins on this side, and then it is a very competitive market, it's just not set up for success, right? It's just not set up that way. So I think anyone that's getting into this space have to understand that you have to figure out how to overcome those three things: the expense of getting it going, the expense of keeping it going, the fact that you have to have the volume to offset the margins, right? And then how do you sustain yourself? Because what we see is, and I just feel like the 80-90% failure rate has nothing to do with ideas. It has everything to do with the cost of fulfilling the idea.
The only thing that I would add to it is we were very intentional about our voice and who we are talking to. I like to say others sell access, we sell alignment. I am inviting you into partnership with love. And we're very intentional about what that partnership means. And that's not just from the consumer side, that is from my service providers, right? You don't enter into an agreement with love if you don't understand alignment. And I will start meetings very clearly. I'm here to protect margin because I've got to give back. And so I don't care what you're offering. If I can't protect my margin, we can't do business. And so I'm very locked in on that alignment. And I think that allows us to be committed to what we're doing and why we're doing it. And sometimes it's that why that pushes you to keep going on a hard day when it didn't go your way and the numbers are maybe not what you wanted for that day. The contract came in and it wasn't what you wanted, but we understand our why. And so where others may be here for the money, right? They're looking for the financial, windfall. And when that doesn't happen in a timeline, they can walk away from it. But there are literal destinies, right? There are people and resources that don't happen if this doesn't work. That pushes you on a day when it's hard. And so I am okay with being misunderstood by the industry of telecom. They don't understand what we're doing. They don't understand how it works. Well, what about this and what about that? And I'm like, I'm not naive to it, but that's not my priority. I'm committed to giving back because that's why we decided to do this. And so a lot of times you're in conversations where they don't quite get it.
My mother, may she rest in peace, she always said, "You can't take it with you. Have you ever seen a U-Haul following a hearse?" And so you're absolutely right. And you got a really good explanation of who and why you are. Let's jump ahead to the networks. You're one of the few MVNOs that offer all three of the major networks here in the U.S., AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon. How important to you is it that the end user gets to choose their own network?
We call them love blue, love pink, and love red, right? Because you love red, you love pink, you love blue, right? So you pick your one. But I think from that was really a choice we made because when we think about the nonprofits that we support and those people that are supporting them through donations or just activities, we didn't want them to have to convince or even us have to convince a potential donor to switch, networks, right? So we wanted to make sure that when that donor walks into that local, let's say rec center or local after school program or whatever, and they see that, hey, I can support you by just, switching my cell phone to Love or adding another line to my cell phone. That's a whole nother conversation, John, we can talk
Right,
about.
right. Mm-hmm.
But we didn't want them to have to now say, well, I want to switch, but that signal that they're on doesn't really work well in my area, right? You lose that potential donor. So having all three now, it takes away that argument or that thing where they say, well, I would switch, but it is an easy switch. Plus, we have great prices, great plans, great features. So that was the main reason why we went and said we need all three.
Were the aggregators that you ended up going with to connect to the three networks, were they aware of your desire to do this with other aggregators and offer all three?
We are very transparent when we talk to our partners. We ask specific questions, and I think they all are. And it's one thing about, and John, you know this better than anybody else. The MVNO space is like one big family, right? It's like when we all sit at the same table, so it's
Yep,
hard to
yep.
hard to not know things, right? But yeah, I think all of them were aware, and we have some great partners. We have great partners that we have that's helping us. That we when we went through the different options, I feel I'm very happy with what our partners and they get the vision, they understand it, and they've been big supporters of it.
So tell us how this works. Does the customer choose the charity or nonprofit group that the funds go to, or do you offer a menu or list that they can choose from?
We are hyper local. And so that means if I don't have an organization in your area, I'm looking for it. I'm reaching out and I'm saying, hey, I've got subscribers that want us to give back to a local organization here. Are you interested? But we support four pillars: education, the environment, community services, and pet adoption and care. You have to take care of those fur babies, right? And so it works in both ways. We've got nonprofit partners who are pushing love into their networks. But then also as a subscriber, if I don't have a local partner, then I'm reaching out and I'm trying to find one that's within those four pillars.
So they'll bring something to you, say, hey, have you thought about supporting this nonprofit or this?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Oh,
we
good.
actually
Okay,
have a
excellent.
submission form on our site that you can nominate a nonprofit partner for us to take a closer look at, and they get vetted. And if they are good, then we're good. Let's do it.
So when you're selecting nonprofits, community partners, or even technology partners, what criteria do you use to decide who aligns with your mission?
We have a scoring system, and I'll tell you, it's really detailed, but really what it boils down to is impact. For us, most telecom providers look at like subscribers and say, okay, we're trying to get this many subscribers. For us, the subscribers don't matter. I'm gonna tell you why. I know it's crazy to say that. What it boils down to for us is impact, right? I say that because when we look at our nonprofit partners or submissions that come in, we want to see before you can connect with love, what have you done already with what you have, right? What's the impact in your community? What's the impact in your, if it's one of the four pillars, education, environment, community service initiatives, or pets, what have you already done? Then we can look at our impact math and say, okay, so if this partner is already doing this, if we connect with them and fund subscribers in their area so people can sign up, this is what we can do. And then there is a process where every year they have to go through I don't want to say a renewal period, but it's like we need to see what did you do the past year with what was donated to you via the subscribers, what was the impact. But it is a very I'll tell you, there's a 3-stage process just from the time a person signs up, where they're vetted three different stages before they get the approval.
Are nonprofits knocking on your door?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a lot of them.
That's the work.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they see this as a solution that
Yes.
was built with them in mind. And because that industry is so used to doing like a one-time event, having a special night, doing a bake sale, that the end of the year you're getting some kind of foundation check. Okay, what we're saying is we're going to give back for the life of that account. This is not a one-time hit. We're continually giving back. And so, what that could mean for their budget, and then it's free as a nonprofit partner. We're not asking you to pay anything. We're saying just show us where you've done the work so that we can support the work you want to do in the future. And so the calendar is absolutely stacked. It's a beautiful challenge to have to coordinate taking nonprofits through intake, getting them the resources that they need, the marketing materials and what have you, so that they can understand telecom enough to talk about it. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
But let me say this, John, before you say something. However,
Okay.
because
However,
there's some listeners out there, we still got space for a lot more, right?
And
Okay.
there's
We
space,
Good.
yes.
we got
Yeah.
And
space.
we
So
can
even though
handle a lot more.
we have a lot more
Okay,
we can
good.
handle, that's why we
It,
go
Okay,
it
bigger.
might
good.
not be an
Nice.
overnight turnaround, but we can listen. I want to change the world, so let's do it. I need a nonprofit in every state, right? Let's do that. That's the goal for this year. Let's get a nonprofit in every state. Can
Well,
you
that's
help
going to
me?
be that's going to be our last point of discussion. But before we go there, churn in the prepaid sector of the business runs 3 to 5%, based on who you talk to, and there are some prepaid folks out there that have figured out how to keep their customers. By part of my bill going to your nonprofits, do you have a stickier customer? Do you look at your churn versus the industry standards that I just mentioned?
Here's the reality. Even though we're giving back, John, we're still competitive.
Right. Yes, you are.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
And I don't want you to feel like you're taking a loss just because you want to give back and be in alignment with Love Mobile. And so we still do things that increase loyalty and that stickiness, like life perks. We have a whole outfit of bonuses and benefits and sales and discounts that they get just because they are a part of Love Mobile. So you're not sacrificing any level of service. If they're going to give you discounts to something, well, guess what? I've got Disney, I got the movies, I've got all kind of sales and bundles. So come on.
Life Perks, man. Oh my,
Yeah,
Life
yeah,
Perks, we get
yep.
discounts. Listen, there are thousands of brands that have committed to give discounts to our customers. And I'm talking about sports. If you like football, basketball, like major sports, local sports, minor league sports, movie
Hmm.
tickets, it could be just regular shopping at your grocery store. I just want a discount.
Yeah,
I
right.
went and went to use a coupon, buy one, get one at a local restaurant. I love, and I saw that coupon in Life
Yeah,
Perks. I was like, bet
yeah,
I'm there, and I
So
was there
you
yeah.
next
just
day.
kind of
Okay.
check it because,
Yes,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
and we
listen,
have
That's great.
giveaways.
we traveled recently and
Yeah.
used Life Perks. Like, so you're not sacrificing any level of services. Whatever they have, bring it on. Let's see what I can do. Let's see if I can at least, match it, if not beat it, or find a deal that's complimentary. So
Right.
And
yeah,
we still give back. And we still give
and
back.
we still give back. So
How
that's
do
the
you?
real question, right?
Okay, so I'm listening to this or watching this. Let's see the three of us up here on the screen. Um, how do I subscribe to Love Mobile? Do you have a dealer network? Is it 100% digital? If I walk into my local, YMCA or shelter, do I see Join Love Mobile? How do you go to market? I guess is my question.
Okay. Cody, you want me to take it? Because I'm excited.
It's
I
up
just
to
seen you run.
you. Either
Yeah,
one.
Okay,
yeah.
John, because you're talking my
All
language
right,
here. This is my
all
language.
right. Wade woke up. Let's go.
Okay, I did. You see me, right? So listen, guys, it's all digital.
Yeah.
Again, we come from tech background, right? It has to be easy. You have to be able to obtain a customer, get the customer to check out and satisfaction. We're in a microwave generation. These kids not gonna wait. Like the days of signing up and going to a store, picking up a SIM card, they don't do that. So if let's say it is a local, let's say a YMCA, and you walk in there and they have one of the digital assets we gave them that's either on their digital board or it's on the, by when you first, sign in. And it says, hey, switch to love and support. Okay, well, guess what? There's a QR code there. When you hit that QR code, it takes you to a beautiful, and I love this. I'm so proud of what we did. John, if you ever been to the website, you'll see this. It takes you to this three questions. This three questions it's going to ask you when you get there. And this is how it's going to sign you up. It's going to ask you three questions. It's going to say, hey, so how often do you use your phone? And it gives you some examples. Every day, do you use it for GPS? You select the first question. Second question, okay, what features do you want? Do you want international calling? Do you want international travel? Do you want just, the love logo, the love like name on your phone? Select that one. Last question. It's going to say, well, where do you want to stay budget wise? Under 20, 20 to 40? You select that one. Then it's giving you, based off what you said, it's going to give you a couple options off across all three of the networks that based off what you said. Then it's going to say, well, based off what you said, though, this is the one we recommend. You click that, you sign up in a matter of minutes. In a matter of minutes, that number is active on your phone. Now, you have two options. You can bring your number. Now, if you bring a number, it may take a little bit longer because we got to wait for your current carrier to release it. But if you choose a new number, it's there in a matter of minutes, right? Now, this is the beautiful thing about it. People don't know this. Now, I'm going to say something here, and I don't know if I should say it, but I'm going to because, John, a lot of people listen to your podcast, so it may change
Yep.
the industry here.
Boom.
Okay. Well, hold on. So we need a drum roll for this exclusive announcement.
You do not have to compete anymore in telecom. Hear me. Because for the past 5 years, Samsung and Apple have done something that they didn't tell anybody about. So when they switched over to eSIM, now you don't have to worry about having to take a customer. I don't have to take your customer. If you are listen, MVNOs, hear me. If you are MVNO, you say, hey, we want to give them unlimited data. We want to give them all the data. We'll carry all the data. Okay, carry the data. That's fine. We can take the second slot, and you can have the data, and we can have the second slot, and they can give back. Because when Samsung and Apple came out past 5 years of their phones, Samsung can have up to 20 lines on it. Apple can have up to 8, and those are all eSIMs. So you don't even have to. If people are saying, well, it's love, they're new, I don't know, I have my phone for a while, stay where you are and just add love as a second line with that QR code. If you activate that QR code and you don't want to change, you don't realize on your phone when you scan that code and you activate, it'll recognize, oh, you already got a number, and it'll move you to the second line, and you can have it. So you don't have to compete. We don't have to. The days of competing guys are over.
And that's why having multiple networks works, because if you're with a carrier, you like your number, you want to stay where you are, well, maybe consider adding a love line for redundancy. right? You know, there are areas in your town where you hit a dead spot. Well, guess what? Add a love line that is maybe with a different carrier that lets you give back, right? So it just like, come on, John, what you waiting
Yeah.
on?
And now
All
plain
right.
style was
I
$15. Listen, John, plain style
yeah,
was
yeah.
$15.
I,
$15
But
planes, and
you
then
know
I'm
what? He's a heavy user. I think he needs the
no,
big
well,
one.
hold on. I just want
John
to talk to
needs
people that
the
may not
big
be
one.
heavy. A $15 plane, John, includes free roaming to Canada and Mexico. It includes stuff like you can travel internationally, right? That you have the ability to add on international. It includes the life perk program, right? There's so many things in that $15 plan where you can have it as that secondary line. And the cool thing is it supports that nonprofit. So you can be a nonprofit that you say, hey, I see this nonprofit, I want to sign up for them. Or you can say, I don't see a nonprofit. I just want to support nonprofits in my area. Just sign up and we will figure out in your area who the nonprofits is doing the work and start supporting. So it really takes away the way you sign up with the digital eSIM. It takes away the whole, I got to go to a store, pick up a SIM card, and I got to get a dealer. That's also a cost because you got dealers that have to supply it. It's a more efficient way to run your business.
What have you done at Love Mobile to build credibility with customers who may not know you yet or may not know the depth of your commitment
Yeah.
that you've demonstrated here tonight?
I think the first thing we did was connect with nonprofit partners that they do know, right? I'm not necessarily saying take my word for it. I'm saying judge my impact. We came out the gate with certifications in technology and giving back to local nonprofits that help and serve the unhoused. Like we came out doing the work. We didn't wait for a million subscribers to be effective. But the other part is that's why we were intentional with the marketing and strategy of add a love line. I'm not saying put everything on me. I'm saying test me out. You can add a love line and you can pick the network. We've really removed any excuse. If you want to give back, if you want to see more industries adopt this model of what I could call enterprise philanthropy, well then you've got to commit to. We've done the work. We're securing those partners. We're giving back, but it does take customer outreach and I've made it as easy as possible. You can add a love line right now, 3 questions, and we're giving back. So I understand trust has to be earned, but I'm inviting you into that conversation.
To kind of go deep on that, we have partnered with some great partners. Which you talked about briefly was so John. One thing that works for us, I think, is that even before Love, we were doing the work, right? We had a track record. So when the company came around, we were able to utilize it. It wasn't like now we got to learn how to give back and we got to learn. No, this is what we do. So when we first launched, even in beta, we did a partnership with a local. This was with a local school, and to give you some impact numbers here. Local school, median income in this area for the household, $29,000. That's the median income for everybody living in a household in this area, in this one area of the school. We saw an opportunity where they had these digital certificates available in technology, where we was able to partner with a major organization, a well-known Fortune company, and provide these certifications for free. And these certifications it gave them, once they got certified, it also helped with job placement. The median income, once they got certified, on the lowest side was $60,000 per certification. We were able to date through that program with a partnership issue over 500 certifications. They cost between $500 to $600 each, and
Wow.
500 people have gotten certified so far to date through that program. So these are
Nice.
things that we do that help. And this is on our website too. You can read about it. But these are things we do where we partner with either local school, local nonprofits, or even corporations that are doing the work. And we're like, hey, this is a great opportunity. Can we connect this? How can Love be the bridge to either fund it or can we facilitate it? How do we do that? And I think that's what we've been doing. We have some great nonprofit partners that have really, and they vet us too. It's not like when we have a
Yeah.
nonprofit
Sure.
partner we
Sure.
announce, it's not like we just say, hey, you're a nonprofit partner, come on. No, they take us through we have meetings and we have to meet with the board. They have to get approval from the board and all that. So when they become a partner, they're saying that based off everything they've seen that Love Mobile has done, based off the model, based off the structure, they feel like it's a good fit for that nonprofit. So if your nonprofit is saying, hey, if you see us say that someone's a nonprofit partner, that means we've been vetted. Not only did we vet them, but we've been vetted by that nonprofit, and they feel like it's a good fit. So that helps also with the trust factor for a lot of people.
Do you see expanding out of Tulsa, or have you already, either organically or through maybe a franchise type situation?
Listen, Love Mobile is for the world, right, John? Everybody needs love, right? The world needs love. So that's how I will answer that question.
And I think there is no
Yeah.
limitation on how far love can go, because at the end of the day,
Okay.
Yeah.
the model of love works everywhere, right? It works everywhere.
Mhm.
Everybody needs love. All right. So that bridges me to my last question. Where do you see Love Mobile in 5 years? Are you a telecom brand? Are you a community platform, or is it something bigger?
You know, I think it's something that is a bit of a hybrid of both of those. I think we have an opportunity here to use telecom as a example and a model of how business can incorporate again enterprise philanthropy. It is where I would hope that consumers go back to every company they engage with and say, how are you giving back? What are you doing automatically? Where can you give back to my community and help my community resolve some of the challenges that we face? And that would be my goal. That Love Mobile is a game changer. It's not so much, wow, you guys are the first ones to do it. I like to say, well, you know, where was everybody else? Like, but this is an opportunity whose time has come. And so we're standing up to and stepping up to the challenge. John, I'm not necessarily someone that runs toward the spotlight. I prefer to be home. I tell people my favorite place in the world is inside my family chat because I've got adult kids all over the world. So I'm not necessarily someone that's running for the podcast or the spotlight, but I'm willing to have that conversation. I'm willing to invite people into a different way to consider not just their cell phone, but everything you do, every business you engage with. Hold them to a standard. Hold them to a standard because the margins are there, and sometimes as a business we've got to negotiate for those margins, but we can make it happen. We can do this. And again, many hands make light work, so everybody join in. And I think some of our popularity is not because Wade and I are so great. I mean, we're cool, right? But I think people get excited about the alignment. They get excited about the
Yep.
movement and the possibilities and the potential. I tell my kids, no one is coming to rescue you. It's on you. And this is one of those moments where I'm saying to everybody, it's on us. Let's do it.
Well, that is a great comment to end on. I could talk to you guys like not 10 hours like you did on your first meeting, but I think we've really just scratched the surface. And congratulations, kudos to
thank
both
you.
of you and your organization. I think you guys are
Thank you.
going to be a household name, in
Thanks.
my opinion. And I think people should try to align with you the best they can. And so a great discussion. I appreciate you both coming on. I know you guys are working 18, 20 hours a day and nailing
Absolutely.
you down to do this was just, I appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure, John.
How do I contact Love Mobile if I want to become one of your community partners, if I want to find out more about Love, and hopefully how do I subscribe? So how does one reach Love Mobile?
Koddi, I guess you looked at me. Okay, there you go.
GetLoveMobile.com. Yeah, go to
Get
the website. Get
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 get Love Mobile. I'm
Love
from the
Mobile.
South, so it's
get
Yeah.
loveMobile.com.
Yeah,
GetLoveMobile.com.
she's from the South.
All
Now
right, there you
you
go.
can hit her voice. She had all the
It's
syllables
like
and
right
get.
There you
there,
go.
right?
I'm
You
gonna
see it right there?
yeah, okay. Yep, right there on the screen.
Yeah, getlovemobile.com.
I think I'm gonna be tossing and turning tonight with Koddi's voice saying getlovemobile.com because it
But
resonates.
it's not a
So
success unless it compels you to act and you turn over
right,
and
I
grab that
think
cell phone and you
yeah.
add a love line. Then,
Well, I am going
then
to
it
lead by
worked.
example. I am going to lead by example, and you can check your records in the next day or two. I am going to take the leap of faith
Let's
Okay.
go.
and
Let's
get
go.
that second line. It may not be a $60 plan; it may be a little bit lower,
No,
but
hey,
Okay.
we'll see.
We'll
We'll
take
see.
Hey,
it.
listen,
All right,
John, listen. Now,
right.
when you do that, if you have a nonprofit you want us to know about, to reach out to us to support, that you can, those funds can
Let
go
us
directly to that
know.
nonprofit. Let us know.
Does my mortgage company qualify? Or
Oh,
no?
I
No.
wish
No,
mine
no.
would. That'd be great.
Okay.
If mortgage comes from
All
a
right.
nonprofit,
No.
we can help
Okay.
them.
All right. You're doing God's work. Continue,
Thank
and
you.
look forward to seeing you this August. I think you're going to be at the All Wireless and Prepaid show
We're
in Las
trying. We're
Vegas.
trying. We got a lot of requests
Okay.
coming in, so we're trying to see
Okay.
We got a lot of
Okay.
requests coming in.
All right. Well, that's the granddaddy. So hopefully we'll see you there. I want to thank you again for coming on. It was a pleasure, and it makes me feel better that my listeners and viewers now are going to see this and hopefully pass this on to people in their communities as well. So thank you. Koddi and Wade,
Yes.
continued good luck, continued success, and continue doing what you're doing. Unfortunately, this is going to wrap up another episode of the Boon of Wireless podcast. But as always, we'll see you next time. Do you want to be a guest on the Boon of Wireless podcast? Give us a call at 908-THE-BOON. Yes, 908-843-2666.